Oil prices have already come back down to what they were before the war in Iran. Yet, we South Africans are still paying almost 7 rand more at the pumps every day than we did before these prices went up due to the war in Iran in February. How is it that despite the fact that oil prices have basically returned to where they were before the conflict began, South Africans are still paying nearly 7 rands more for every litre of petrol? The reason has almost nothing to do with the war in the Middle East, but everything to do with decisions made in Pretoria. In recent months, as the global oil prices surged and the government came under increasing pressure from consumers, National Treasury temporarily reduced the general fuel levy by 3 rands per litre to shield us from the full impact of the crisis. Then, as tensions in the Middle East eased and the international oil prices fell sharply again, South African motorists expected to enjoy one of the largest fuel price reductions in years to put the fuel price back to what we were used to in February of this year. In fact, the decline in the international fuel price and the stronger rand accompanying it together reduced the underlying basic fuel price of petrol by more than 3 rands per litre less than it was in February of this year, and diesel by almost 5 rands per litre less than it was in February this year. However, before we could benefit fully from these international savings along with a stronger rand, government announced that it was reinstating a full general fuel levy. As a result, prices in July fell far less than they would otherwise have. In February, prior to the start of the war in Iran, Brent crude oil traded as just over $70 per barrel. And today, following the massive surge due to the war in Iran for a few months, and as the Iran war seems to gradually be coming to an end, the price is back at under $75 per barrel. Yet with the much stronger rand we are enjoying today, that $75 per barrel is less in rands than the $70 per barrel were in February. And despite all of these facts, we motorists in South Africa are still paying 7 rands per litre more than we did in February. That means it is a 35% increase from February when all factors are considered including the price hike and then the price drop again. But how on earth is this possible? Stay tuned, because in today's video we are going to give a full explanation of how the South African government is absolutely messing with us, exploiting us, and exploiting productive transport companies in this country for the enrichment of the government and the cadres. You see, let's go back into the history. Prior to 1935, all road construction in South Africa was the responsibility of each of the provincial governments of the 4 provinces. There was no national road agency or fund. This, of course, changed in the 1930s when the government at the time decided that a national road policy needed to be adopted and that a common fund was needed to finance those roads which are of national importance. That is, the N roads as we still know them today, N1, N2, etc. The fund would be established by means of a fuel levy that was sourced from an import tax on every litre of fuel imported, or actually gallon in those days, at 3 pennies per gallon in the 1930s, or roughly 50 cents per litre in today's money, which was established on the 31st of March 1935. Then, everything changed following the international oil crisis in the mid-70s, coupled with the rapid expansion of the South African National Road Network at the time, and importantly, or most importantly actually, international sanctions and boycotts against apartheid South Africa. It was this last straw, this last factor in particular, which at the time led to the introduction of the first fuel levies in more than 40 years in South Africa. The National Party government rightly regarded petroleum supply as a national security issue at the time, and therefore began to heavily subsidize Sasol's program of synthetic oil production, as well as strategic oil stockpiles in this country. In order to finance this, it created the Equalization Fund under the Central Energy Fund Act of 1977. The Equalization Fund introduced a new levy that motorists paid when filling up at the tank, with the funds allowing not only for subsidizing Sasol's production, but also financing strategic crude oil reserve purchases through secret intermediaries, to evade UN sanctions and to smooth out petrol prices during these oil shocks. And while this led to a temporary increase in fuel levies for motorists of that era, as the sanctions were gradually eased out and as the great infrastructure projects of the 1970s and 80s were completed, the general idea was that fuel levies would accordingly be phased out in this country completely as well. By 1993, the final year the National Party was still officially in office, the total fuel levy was only 48 cents per litre for both petrol and diesel, and in the process of being completely faded out, amounting to only 30% of the total price of fuel in South Africa, with the Road Accident Fund levy contributing another around 10%. And technically, just for the sake of accuracy, it must be said that the fuel levy itself has actually been slightly lowered over the past 32 years under ANC rule, and now amounts to just about 20% of today's total price, and even the Road Accident Fund has remained stable in terms of contributing around 10% of the price. What has changed, however, and this is really the number one reason why petrol and diesel in this country are so incredibly expensive today when compared to any other time in this country's history, is the carbon levy, petroleum products levy, the demand side management levy, the IP tracer levy, and the slate levy. It is in particular this last levy which has served to keep prices elevated even despite any drops in oil prices over the last 20 years. Today, all of the levies combined amount to about R8.24 per litre, which is more than 14 times what the total levies were prior to the dawn of the ANC era. This means that today the total amount of levies that we pay on every litre of fuel is around 14 times more than the apartheid government charged on fuel in the midst of the sanctions, in the midst of the entire world sanctioning us as a country. The apartheid government could do with a 14th of the levies that the ANC is now putting on petroleum. This means that around a third of all the money spent at the petrol station today is some form of government taxation. What this also means is that if government were to simply remove all of their taxes, as was the plan of the previous government, and as the previous government was busy doing with phasing out the fuel levies as we explained in this video, and levies on petrol and diesel, the prices thereof would both instantly drop to just over 17 Rand and 16 Rand respectively. Imagine the positive impact that would have on consumers in this country, because the reality is that an elevated fuel price impacts the cost of every single product or service that you can possibly think of in our economy. Everything is much more expensive because of the fact that we are all paying well over 8 rands per litre in levies and taxes for these products and services just to be transported or actually be completed. And so, while the actual percentage of levies and taxes we pay at the pump in South Africa has remained fairly stable since the 70s, the more important question that needs to be asked here is what the real rationale is for the levies themselves. You see, during the 70s and 80s, when the levies were raised for the first time again in South Africa, there was sanctions against South Africa, making it very difficult to get our hands on fuel, and there was a rapidly expanding national road network that was being built. On the other hand, today, that national road network that was built during the 70s and 80s has not been significantly expanded. And in fact, the entire road network, every single place where you go in the country, you will find signs of decay, potholes. The roadwork is not even being maintained. What's to say expanded? Thus, why are we paying now more for fuel or more for the levies on the fuel than our fathers or grandfathers were paying in the 70s under the sanctions and while the country was expanding the road network if the government is not even using that money to maintain the roads? The original fuel levy was introduced to build a national road network which hadn't even existed at the time. The additional levies of the late 70s were justified as temporary measures to finance strategic fuel security during an international crisis. Yet, decades after the end of sanctions and the political transition of 1994, when the fuel levy was supposed to be phased out decades ago already, and even with the rapid rise of road tolls in this country's highways, another form of income for the government to maintain the roads, which they actually don't maintain, those temporary measures have simply not been taken away as was the plan. In fact, they have been tremendously expanded by a growing list of new taxes and levies, each introduced for a different so-called purpose. In other words, what began as a narrowly targeted mechanism to fund building new roads and national energy security has gradually evolved into one of the government's most reliable and profitable sources of revenue out of us. And this is the real story behind South Africa's fuel price. As motorists, we are no longer simply paying for the fuel we consume in our cars or our trucks or whatever. We are financing an ever-expanding and corrupt to the core government every time we fill up our tanks, and virtually nothing is being done with that money to improve our lives. A final factor also driving up the cost, which deserves mentioning, is the sharp increase in refining costs. But the fact that we have to import refined fuel instead of refining it on home soil ourselves, as we have done during the previous regime or the previous dispensation, is also, of course, something that ought to be placed squarely at the feet of the incompetent government of South Africa. This is something we emphasized in a recent study we did here at the Willem Petzer Group, where we compared the way that the previous dispensation was able to refine their own fuel and how much they were able to refine versus what is happening today, which you can check out by clicking on this link appearing on your screen right now. And we do recommend you do that to expand your knowledge on what is actually happening here in South Africa. And if you haven't yet, remember to become a paying member of the Willem Petzer Group. It's a very low price to invest in us to make sure that we can continue doing the research that we are doing, producing content such as this, which changes your life. Goodbye and God bless.